In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to enable your users to create static email templates, how to store emails for historical reference, and how to send those emails out based on a certain action. And basically what you're seeing here is a list of email templates that when a user selects it, they're able to see the information here on the right hand side. They can change the name, they can change who the email will be sent to by default. They can change the subject line, and they can see or change the body of the email. And so this is really good for generic emails that'll get sent out that don't really have that don't really change. And for example, if a record is added, you could alert an administrative user, hey, there's a new record. A good use case is when a user is added to your user base. The administrator could get notified that there's a new user for the app. And so imagine if someone has left and that administrator no longer needs to receive that email, then someone can come in here and easily modify who the to address will, the new to address will be, and they don't have to wait for you to make an adjustment in the back end and then release a new version of the app. So to follow along, you'll need a Bubble account with a new app. And once you've done that, come down to this drop down, create a new page, give it a name. I'm going to name mine template management. You can leave it blank. And go on over to the data. We're going to create a few new data types. One will be email template. We'll create that. The email template will have a few fields. It'll have a template name, its text. It'll have a to, so that we can specify who that's going out to. It'll have a subject, so that we can specify a subject line. It'll have a body, so that our user can specify a generic body for this email. So we're going to also create a email data type, and that email will have similar fields to our email template. It'll have a to field, it'll have a subject field, and it'll have a body. Okay, and so the email template will be the static generic email that the user can configure. This email will store all of our email history for our app. Okay, go ahead and create another data type called alert, and for the alert, it's going to have one field called status, and that's going to be a number. All right, just for the sake of this example. Head on back over to the design tab. We're going to find this group here on the left. We're going to drag it into our page. I'm going to redefine these dimensions. And in this group, you can rename this to group template list. This is where our templates will be shown. Drag a text element onto this group, and I'm going to rename this email templates. Okay, I'm going to say that it's a heading 2, and go ahead and find a repeating group here under containers and click it into that group, the group that we have on our page. All right, and what a repeating group will allow us to do will display a list of our email templates for our users. Okay, so set the type of content to email template, and the data source will be do a search for email templates and then close. That'll just give us all the email templates in our database. Set this layout style to full list and the rows to 1. This will show us the records as they get added on the fly. And within our repeating group, drag a text element in here, and this text element will be the name of our email template. Okay, so it'll be the current sales email templates template name. And so this will tell our users the name of the email template that they can select. I'm going to right click that. I'm going to group that into an element. And what I'm going to do with this group is just set the background style to a flat color of gray. And this will give my user a visual cue of the record that they're selecting from this list. Okay, and so And so what we'll do next is we'll add a button here. Actually, we'll drag it on over this way. And what this button will do, this will kick off the logic that will allow us to create a new email template record. Okay. And so what we'll do is we'll copy this whole group here, we'll paste it, and we'll use this new pasted group as the area where we'll display um, the selected template or a new template. So we'll rename this to group current template. Okay. So there we have the group current template. We're going to use a custom state called email template. We're going to set the state to email template, and we're going to hit create. A custom state in Bubble just allows you to store data temporarily, and in our case, it'll allow us to pass a selected template or a new template to this field, to this group here, so that we can display more information. Okay, so under the conditions tab, I don't want to see any of this information that we'll add by default. I only want to see it when I click new or when I select something from the list. So to control that, we create a new condition. We can say the group, when the group current templates email template, which is the name of the custom state that we defined, when it's not empty, we want to display this whole group. Now we can copy and paste it, and we can say the opposite. When it is empty, we don't want to see this. Okay? And so, of course, we don't want the same information repeated here. We're just going to shrink this slightly, and we're going to rename this to template name. We'll say template name. And so what I'm basically doing here is I am setting up all the inputs for my user to enter the data for the template name or view the data. Enter the data for the email template or just view it. So I'm going to assume that you know how to do this. I'm going to just give a text element for the given field and then an input element for all the fields that we created over here in this data section for the email template. All right. So I'll be back momentarily. All right, and we're back. So all I really did was added a text element on top of the input fields for the given field that we defined here in the data section for our email template. Okay, one for the name, one for the to, one for the subject, and one for the body. All right, so let's go ahead and let's define the logic behind these buttons here. When the user clicks on new, hit start edit workflow, what we're going to do is hover over data. We're going to create a new thing. We're creating an email template, and we're passing that on to the the custom state for the element group current template. Okay, that state is email template, and the value is the result of step 1. All right, that'll pass the information on to this form here. The user will fill the information out, and they'll click save. Hit start edit workflow on save, and what we're saving are the changes made to that email template in the custom state. Okay, so we'll go down this one by one and set the values equal to the value of the input. Okay, so I won't bore you with that. I'll be back in a second. All right, and we're back. So I just set each value equal to the input value up top. Okay, so for template name, I set it equal to the template name's value, and so on and so forth for each other one. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to reset all of our inputs so that those fields are empty, and we want to just empty out the form. So we're going to set the state of our current template to just nothing, okay, and that'll reset everything. And lastly, when our user clicks on this gray area, we want to just pass that information on to this form as well. So click on this gray area, hit start edit workflow, and what we're going to do is we're going to pass the selected email template to the custom state of group current template. Okay, it'll be the current cell's email template, and that's that. So let's go ahead and preview this. Under our new email templates, there's nothing there. We'll click on new. We'll set the template name to new alert. The to will be anything that the user, the email address that the user wants the email to go to. The subject, you can create anything you want. I'll say new alert. And then the body, I'll say, hey, comma, there's a new alert. And I'll hit save. All right, and so hitting save will save all that information. I click on new, the new alert email template, and I see everything that I just entered. And so what we'll do next is we'll define the page and the logic that will control how we save an email to the database for historical reference, and sending out the actual email based on a button action. Okay, so go head on over to this drop down, go to add a new page. I'm going to name my new page alerts, and I'm going to clone it from this template management. Okay. Of course, I don't want to see all my template information, so let's just go ahead and redefine all of this. I'm going to say this is alerts. The repeating group is not email template, it's an alert. We want to do a search for all the alerts. Okay, the group here will be an alert, and it'll be the current sales alert, and then this text here will be the alerts status that we defined in the data. Okay, so under alert for data types, we just have status. And so the custom state on this group current, we got to rename this here to group current alert, and we got to redefine the custom state. It's not an email template, it's an alert, and select an alert from this drop down. Okay, the conditions will stay the same, and we don't need all of this information here. So we don't need the subject, we don't need the to, we don't need the body. We do need the save. Okay, and we'll just drag this up. And this text here won't say template name, it'll say status. And the input here is it's not going to be the template name anymore, it's going to be the alert status. All right. And so let's go ahead and redefine the logic. We'll click on new. We'll start edit this workflow. We're not creating a new email, we're creating an alert, and we're passing that alert to the group current alert. All right, button save is clicked. We're making changes to the current alert. All right, and we're not saving all that information because that's not there. We're just saving the status, and the status is equal to the input status's value, which is here, but it's still named input template name. We'll rename it to input status, and we'll say input status's value. All right, right click this step 2, insert an action. I'm going to hover over data, and we're going to create a new thing. We're going to create a new email, and we're going to set these email values equal to the values that the user defined for email template, for their email template. And how we do that is we're going to do a search for the email template whose template name is equal to the name that we defined previously, which is new alert, found there. Okay, so we'll do the same for all the other fields. We'll say first 2, okay, and I'll come back when I'm done with the other fields. And so we're back. So I set these fields equal to the email template whose template name is new alert, to the equivalent field on the email template. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to insert an action, and we want to hover over email and send an email. And these will match the values that we created here for the email. So the 2 will be the result of step 2's 2. The sender name, I'm just going to say system alert. The CC and the BCC, we didn't create fields for, but if you want to, go ahead and just set those values there. The subject will be the result of step 2's subject, and then the body will be the result of step 2's body. Okay. And so this action here will send the email, whereas this action here will store the values of our email in our database and give us a historical reference for them. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen when the user clicks on save. Um, and then when the group is clicked, we'll set the state of the custom state for group current alert to the alert that was just selected. Okay, and so let's preview that functionality. There's no alerts. We click on new. The status will be 10. We click on save. The alert status is changed, and the email is saved and sent. And we can see that it is saved under app data when we go to all emails. Here's that email. And so that functionality showed you um, creating the email and then sending it in the same breath. Of course, you don't want a functionality where the user is defining a status manually and then saving it. You can use this functionality in your Bubble app to define when an email gets sent out. You can store that email and you can define the values for that email based on a user-defined email template. And again, it's really good for use cases when there's a new record being added to your database, when there's a change to a status, and they're just generic text emails. And I'll most likely create a video for creating an email template and an email based on dynamically changing data. So look out for that video. But other than that, thanks for watching.